Welcome to the Bearded Finisher Podcast, your one-stop show for all things finishing and coatings. Your host, Zach, and a variety of industry experts will guide you through the art of perfecting your finishing and business game. From seasoned pros to fresh faces, get ready for tips, tricks, and trends to elevate your knowledge and business to the next level.
So tell me about that thing you were at today. I saw that on social media and I was like, oh, I need to ask her about that when we record. Like, it was like a small business type deal.
So Prosperity Bank and Score, every year, they do it in Texas. They started in Houston actually with this, and they've moved it up to Oklahoma. So in 2023 was the first time they did it here, and I was part of the first group that went through. And basically, it is a few months of coming in every Saturday morning to learn about your business finances, what to look for, what to show, and how to take that information to a bank and ask for lending. And so went through that. And then at the end of it, they did kind of like a Shark Tank kind of situation where you were in front of 3 judges and you had like 2 minutes and 15 seconds to throw a pitch in front of the judges. And when I was in it originally, I was just going to pitch expansion, buying a new van, buying new tools, trying to get more money to hire. And one day, one of the mentors there, he was talking about previous people in Texas that had won. And he goes, the important thing to do is razzle dazzle them. And I was like, razzle dazzle, huh? I can razzle dazzle. So I'm on. So I scrapped my plan and I went and got all the information about the Green Fast Cure system. And I created a whole presentation on the Green Fast Cure, pitched it. They ended up having me up there for 20 minutes asking me questions about the business and everything. And what I did was I brought samples to them, and I had an emerald urethane door sprayed and I had a door sprayed in Centurion. And we had sprayed them both at the same time. They were both a week old. That was it. And so I slid the doors in front of them and I said, I'll let you guess which one we do. And they were all looking. And the one guy, he was a contractor, and he looked and he goes, I've never seen a door like this. He goes, I've never seen a door this good. I was like, so I pitched Green Fast Cure. Afterwards, they were coming up to me and they were like, do you really want this? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've always wanted one. I've just never had the money for it. And so I wanted to pitch that, and maybe one of these days I'll get it. And they were like, if you want the lending, we can get you the lending. If you want the money, we can help you. And so I ended up winning first place. So I won a big, pretty trophy and $1,000. And at the award ceremony afterwards, the guy from Prosperity Bank came up to me and he goes, do you want this? I can get you the financing to do it. And I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of great. Because I was showing how if we use the Green Fast, because I was showing like if we hire employees, how many employees are we going to need to get to this point versus if we had the Green Fast, we could speed up the process in shop to where we weren't needing as many employees. We could go from 8 employees to 3 to 4 employees and still do the same production as 8 employees. And so Prosperity Bank looked over all the terms with me and they were showing me everything. And I'm like, I really don't want to pay that much for it monthly. And then they were wanting more down. And I was like, I don't know about that. And they were like, well, why don't we get you with REI? And they could see about an SBA loan with you. So they got me with REI.
So who's REI?
Rural Enterprises Incorporated. They're here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And they help rural businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses.
That's
like that.
Awesome.
A lot of real estate stuff with them as well. But they're based out of Durant.
Okay.
So, and they've got a facility here in Oklahoma City. So they got with me, was able to get less of a down payment with them, lower interest rate because it was through the SBA. So it was like 1.5 points less through the SBA. A lot more terms to follow through, though. They
make you jump through some hoops. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At one point, they were wanting paperwork from my property manager signed stating that they could come into the building and take our equipment if we didn't pay. And Adley's very anti-government. He does not like the government. I ain't signing no paperwork for the government to go in my buildings and steal my stuff. I'm going to shoot them. And I'm like, oh gosh, Adley, they're just wanting to, they're not going to take your stuff, Adley. They're not going to take your building. If I don't pay my bill, they're going to come take my equipment if you don't get it to it first. So I was like, so just please sign this. And he didn't want to sign it. And finally I was like, Adley, if you don't sign it, I'm going to move out of your building.
Okay, fine.
And he was like, really? I'm like, yes. I was like, I need this money to get my equipment. Please sign the paperwork. And I finally got him to do it. We got green fast. And so, and I haven't even, I've told Chrissy this. So REI contacted me about a month ago, and so they do a Dream Big award ceremony every year. This huge shindig out in Shawnee, huge dinner, award ceremony, everything. And they called about it, and they were like, hey, you've been recognized for an award, and so you're going to be presented.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And they were like, so we just want to let you know. So on July 2nd, actually, they're going to have somebody come out. They're doing this huge video production here in the shop for YouTube and promotional and all kinds of stuff. And so in October, we will go in front of them for the Dream Big Awards for direct lending for that recognition. And they were like, well, we're going to let Prosperity Bank know about it since they were the ones that got you with us for this loan and everything. So Prosperity Bank's going to be there. So now they're using me to get in front of people, which I'm totally happy with. I volunteered myself for it. And I found out yesterday that they found out that all of their funding is getting cut from the federal government. And so now they're going to have to start charging people to get their services, which really sucks. And so I was, as soon as I found out, I'm on the phone.
This is REI,
Score.
right? Score. Okay, so that was the next, was help us understand what Score is.
Score is a national organization of mentorship. You can request a mentor through Score, and don't ask me what Score means. I don't remember what it means, but they work with the Small Business Administration, and basically they have business owners or former business owners or former CEOs that will mentor new business owners for free. And then they have resources where you can take classes through them, learning about business management, finances, AI, I mean, whatever. They've got a class out there for everything. So our first mentor was a retired business owner, nice old lady, and she helped me get my LLC. Because I was like, I don't know what to do to get an LLC. I keep seeing people wanting to charge me, and they were like, no, we do it for free. So they helped me get my LLC. And then when we were looking at going full time with the business, we asked for another mentor. And so we ended up with Ernie, who was a former CEO of a chemical manufacturing company. He was retired. And so, yeah, he was amazing. So Ernie sat us down, and originally we were going to open a storefront, sell furniture painting and sell furniture and all that other stuff. And Ernie was like, well, why don't you write down all the numbers? I want to know how much the rent is. I want to know how much the utilities are. I want to know how much the overhead is. I want to know all the numbers. So he gave us an Excel spreadsheet and said, fill all this out, bring it back to me. So I filled it out, brought it back to him, and he looked at it and he tossed it back at me. He said, do it again. And I was like, what? He goes, those aren't real numbers. No business has whole numbers anywhere. He said, those are made up numbers. I want real numbers. So we went back through again, looked it all up, realized we were not going to be profitable and we were going to fail. So then he was like, what else can you look at to go into business for? And that's when Jeremy was like, what about cabinet painting?
It's crazy. I've gotten into, have you ever listened to Cody Sanchez? She's the lady down in Austin. Super awesome. She's got a cool podcast. She's got a book called Main Street Millionaire. And It's a great book if you should listen to it. And she talks about how she was in New York, blah blah blah, cliff notes of the book, hated being in New York and bought a laundromat to see if she could make it work. And she did, quit New York, quit the big bank stuff, and now she has like a think tank, but she's been stupid successful in buying just the boring main street businesses that are out there that are people in their 60s or 70s wanting to retire, whether it's a laundromat or, uh, you know, cleaning company, and she kind of goes into boring businesses that you can buy, an electrical company. She's actually just partnered with that, that one painter, the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the painters we actually use is part of that franchise.
She just bought into his business, and now she's like, the whole Resi Brands is a franchise in that. Like, her book has opened my eyes on like the creative financing side and how she structures deals, and she gives you examples to where you can buy business with no money down. If you get into know the owners, and it's very emotional. Any business, if someone's been owning it for a while, it's going to be emotional. But she kind of goes into that and talks a lot about SBA. Her book's incredible. Like, it's gotten us out of our comfort zone and finding out just how easy it can be once you do like the first deal, how easy it is to actually get money.
What was her name again?
Cody Sanchez. She's awesome. Main Street Millionaires, her book. She's got a podcast. And she does like some coaching and stuff like that you can do, but the book is great. And she reads it when she does the audio version, which is what we did. We actually were going to Oklahoma to visit some family for Easter. And my wife was like, "Hey, you want to try this book?" And I'm like, "Sure." I mean, it was all the way there and all the way back nonstop. And on the way back, we were trying to find other books because we finished it.
And I'm horrible with names, when we were going to Albuquerque for the PCA Expo last time, the guy that always has the thing on his nose, listened
Hermosi, Alex Hermosi.
Yeah, Alex Hermosi. Yeah, we were listening to him all the way out there. So
she's friends with him, and I think she's done a couple deals with Alex Hermosi. I've never been a big fan of. I don't know. Maybe it's the breathe right trippy, but I don't know what it is, but there's something about him that, I mean, he's done really well in the business world of like the gym factor. Like, Cody Sanchez has done really well in the world of service-based businesses. That's why I like her so much, because she buys like an electrical company. She's like, I don't need to know how to do electrical. I run companies, plumbing companies that maybe has, how profitable these companies can actually be, that if someone like you or I don't buy them and keep them as privately owned businesses, old town Main Street businesses, cleaners, laundromats, all that stuff, then you got corporations that are going to buy them up, and then they're going to holding companies, and then it's over. I mean,
they're getting wiped out, and
the independent worker is getting wiped out. But she does this whole spiel on, and it sounds like your mentor is where that was a long ass rabbit we just chased, but does this whole ordeal on retail. And like, she does a list in there of like the top 5 businesses that are 5 or 7. She's like, run, don't go near them. Like, restaurants are on there. Retail stores that have to be open a certain amount of hours. You have to buy inventory. And, she kind of goes through all that stuff. And it was excellent book. I recommend it to anyone who's in that world. But the whole deal of how, once you start getting the money, once you figure out what works for you and what makes money, it gets really easy. It's like, once you ask for a loan, like through the SBA once, there's a lot of crap you got to do, but you realize it's really, you got to put the elbow grease in, but it's not that hard.
Well, and most people don't know that they can do these things. That's why I loved that class. I mean, it was a complete eye opener. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually go and ask for money for my business. Because we were sitting there like, well, if we ever want a green fast cure, we're going to just have to save up for it. And save up $20,000+ for this thing, plus the amount to install and everything else. And it's crazy. And then like when we hired, I ended up going to Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, or SBDC is what it is. And I'm still working with a mentor through there with Emily, which she's been amazing. I started working with her because I wanted help with figuring out how to hire employees and get HR stuff in order. And so, I mean, just a wealth of resources. And she got me, when we did the master class, I told her, I was like, hey, I got invited to do this masterclass thing. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to win, but you know me, I want to do my best. And so she was getting me in touch with OU for market analysis to find out who my main competition was, how much their gross income is, how many employees they have. I mean, OU could find any of that information, and she got it all for me.
It's nuts.
And then she got me market analysis for the next 3 years. So like when I got that market analysis from OU, I saw that in 2024 and 2025, the painting industry was actually going to have a little bit of a setback. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
it's kind of a little shrinkage.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
They
were basically saying it was going to reset to 2019 numbers, that everything for the past several years had been an anomaly, and it was going to reset to basically 2019 numbers. And I was like, okay, get prepared. So I meet with her monthly to go over things, discuss. I basically use her as a soundboard. Last year, she was like, hey, would you be willing to come to this thing we were doing where we're talking in front of investors to see if they would be willing to, help us with expansion, because they want to move more into rural Oklahoma out west. And so we went up there and talked to the investors, and they were extremely impressed. They loved us to death. They were actually asking if we were interested in possibly coming up to the VOTEC and teaching classes, or talking to the kids up there that are going into the trades. Because we were like, trades is an important industry. More people are leaving the trades than coming in. And they were just like, we would love to have you talk more. So I'll probably end up talking for her more. And I was like, just call me in whenever. I don't have a whole lot of money to give you all, but I got time. And so like when I did that post today, I was like, if you have time, at least give time to these organizations, because small businesses is what keeps America going. And not having the resources for small businesses, not being able to go get a loan through the SBA because the banks don't want to give the loan, or the banks want to charge you high interest rate because you're a small business. Or in our case, at the beginning of our business, we needed a van. Our Ford Expedition was dying. We knew it was. We went to 2 banks, and they were like, oh, you've been self-employed for less than 2 years. We can't help you.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
And we were being told the same thing by all of them. And finally, I went to our own personal bank. Thankfully, we'd had a working relationship with them. And I was like, look, either you give me a loan for a van, or I'm going to close my business down and you're going to lose my money. I'm going to close my accounts. And they agreed to give me the loan for it. But I talked to them when we were talking about getting the loan for the Green Fast Cure. And they were like, no, we can see about it, but they wanted higher interest. They wanted 30% down and all this other stuff. Whereas the Small Business Administration was able to do 5% down.
Yep. I mean, once you get into the SBA, I just can't say it enough, because I've always been the type of guy that I want to start a business. I want to own a business. I got to start it. I've always done that. Painting business started it. Lawn mowing business started it. Concrete and tile company started it. I've got an RV and trailer rental company now, started it from the ground up. The podcast here started it. And I tell this to anybody out there wanting to do their own thing. Like, starting a business is great, but it is a shit ton of work. Like,
it is.
It's not an easy process. Like, you're going to sleepless nights, but if you want to do it, do it. But I have since, and we purchased a business. Holy shit, that's a lot easier. Like, buying an existing business, I'm like, wait a minute. It's already going. It's already generating income. You get into the creative financing side with the seller, dues for, seller financing. And there's so many different ways you can structure different seller financing options, not just notes, but profit sharing. And I mean, she goes into this book, Cody Sanchez goes into this insane amount. And I'm just like, once you like open your mind to that, oh my God. I was telling a guy the other day, I'm like, my wife and I have this goal to have 5 businesses. So in the next 4 to 5 years, we want to have 5 separate businesses, each paying us X amount of dollars a year in residual income. And we have people that run those businesses, but we're making money on them, and we meet with them once a month and oversee the businesses. And I'm at 3 right now. So we've got 2 more to go. And then we got to keep growing them. But that way she can retire. But between the podcast and the RV company and a vending company that we bought and laundromat that I'm looking at, those last two are existing companies. I'm not starting another business from the ground up. I'm done with that mess. I'm just buying existing businesses.
I know it's crazy, but I've looked at apartment complexes and I'm like, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on an apartment complex.
If you get into real estate, I've talked to a bunch of people in real estate. If you're going to go into real estate, to me, I've owned houses, rental houses. I think apartment complex would be the only way, because you're not dependent on one person paying their rent. You've got a cumulative of, we looked at like some 10-unit apartment complexes. But, I've just kind of gotten into really sucked into the boring businesses,
Well, laundromats. I mean, I was watching a YouTube video one day with Jeremy, and this lady was just pulling all the money out of the machines and showing how much she brought in, and then was showing her overhead and everything. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's bringing that much money.
Oh, what's even better when the laundromat world is when you tie in like what's called just the wash and fold. You already have 90% of the time you have someone there, and you're paying them to be there, to sweep up, walk around. Well, they're already getting paid. Wash these clothes.
Oh, as soon as my uncle, like one day, because I'm sitting there getting ready to get all my laundry, and he goes, why? I was like, I'm going to go do my laundry. He goes, I just go up there and drop it off with the laundry lady, and she does it. And I'm like, oh man. I've contemplated it, and I have done it a few times. When we got behind with kids' laundry and everything, I would just load it all up, take it up to them, and shell out the money. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's such a worthwhile thing.
Oh, I do it for like my RVs, and I charge if people want sheets, because 90% of people bring their own sheets and towels. But I have them if people want to rent them, or for their trip. I have them available for all the beds that are in my RVs. But I used to do them all. Go to laundromat, wash, dry, fold and queen sheets, fitted sheets on twin beds. And I was there one day, and the lady was like, we charge $2 a pound. I'll wash, fold, and put it all back in the laundry bag, and you can just come pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, haven't done laundry on that stuff since, and it is amazing. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, but it just goes to show you that there's a ton of businesses out there between, laundromats, vending services. Doesn't take a lot. It's an easy business. And it's saturated right now, but I'm obsessed with storage buildings.
Actually, one of our clients from last year, they were teachers from I think at high school. One was a principal, one was a math teacher, I believe. And we were just chatting with them because we're looking at their house. And we're like, y'all are teachers, and this is your house. And they're like, oh, well, we also have ice vending machines.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. And I was like,
yes.
You all are getting that good of money out of ice vending machines? They were like, yeah. I was like,
yeah, those do really well. You get them around the lake. But like, since I have my RV and trailer rental company, like I have like 12 units now, like between RVs and horse trailers, flatbed trailers. I have 12 trailers that I'm renting out all the time, but I got to store them someplace.
Yeah.
So I'm paying a storage facility X amount of dollars per unit, and I've got a deal worked out with them that I'm getting a good rate because they're getting a good amount of business from me. It's not just one unit. They're getting 12 and then some. But I want all of that. So I'm like, I want a storage unit, but it got.
Yeah. They're getting ridiculous. Yeah. And there's no safety in them either. They're like, oh, sign this waiver of everything. We're not covering anything. I'm like, I'm paying you all to store my stuff. I expect a little bit of security here. Oh, no, we're not responsible for security.
One of ours got broke into and they stole it all. I mean, everything in our climate controlled, and we have this little protection plan, and they're like, oh, it's a max payout $1,000. I need you to list everything that's in there. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Here's some expensive stuff that tallies $1,000, but the rest of it's shit. We got to have a detailed list.
I used to sell insurance, and people would call up complaining about their claims. They're like, why are you paying me $100 for all these shirts and da-da-da-da? And I'm like, well, what kind of shirts did you put? Well, I put shirts. Okay. Did you just put shirts? Yeah. You didn't put from where? Well, no, they were shirts. I'm like, okay. So the adjuster's going to automatically go look at Walmart or Dollar General for shirts. I highly doubt you bought your shirts at Walmart or Dollar General. You probably bought them at Macy's or Dillard's or went online to Nordstrom or whatnot. Well, yeah, I did. Well, that's what the price you need to put. What about your TV? Did you get a cheapo TV at Walmart, or did you go buy that nice one at Best Buy? Well, I bought the nice one at Best Buy. Yeah, so you need to put that. You put purses. Are they Target purses or are they Louis Vuittons? And people would be like, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah, you got to give them the details.
Well, and what's crazy to me is I've taken pictures of the storage before, or videos, because people say do videos of stuff that's in your house. And I've insurance people have told me that. But what they don't tell you is that's great. On that video, you better say every single little thing that's in every tote and the model number of the stuff that you're videoing. Because other than that, the insurance company doesn't give a crap.
No, they don't care.
You're going to have to do the work and write down. So you're basically telling yourself all of this, and you can supplement it with a video, but they're going to make you do all the work. And I'm just like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah. This is why family members, anytime they have an insurance claim, they're like, Kimberly, can you help me get this settled? So like grandma across the street, I've done like 2 of her insurance claims. And I'm like, grandma, just let me handle this. And I'm like, hey, all right, what do you need? You need a list? Okay, I know what she got. Yeah, she got that garden statue at Cimarron Pottery. And they're like, really?
You got to get specific. Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break and refresh our drinks. And I want to come back, and I kind of want to talk about, I want to jump into a conversation we've had on text a while back about working with some local cabinet companies, and just kind of in general, how the first half of the year went for you guys. So everyone can kind of get an idea, if, because we talked about it being down, but take a quick break and then we'll come right back.
Do you want your brand in front of the people who actually move product? Painters, finishers, and manufacturers? The Bearded Finisher podcast has pulled in over 75,000 downloads and reaches across the entire finishing supply chain, from job site to manufacturing. From single episode sponsorships to social media promotion, we offer flexible options that get your brand noticed. Real reach, real results. Visit thebeardedfinisher.com and let's get your brand front and center. Are you a residential painter buried in admin, scheduling chaos, or constant material delays? Meet mypaintbuckets.com, the first dedicated project management platform built by painters for painters. It delivers turnkey workflows to simplify your day, from project sharing and material ordering to scheduling and EPO capture, so you can focus on scaling your crew and maintaining the reputation you've worked so hard to build. And if you're a supplier, painters are evolving faster, smarter, and more efficient than ever. The suppliers who thrive over the next 10 years will be the ones who build real trust. That's why we created free tools to help you keep up and stay relevant. Head to mypaintbuckets.com and see why the next generation of painters isn't looking back.
All right, everybody, we are back. Let's jump into now. Let's start off. I kind of want to talk about, it's been a couple weeks ago. We were talking about rescheduling this because we tried to do it once, blah, blah, blah. And you were headed back from Tulsa, meeting with a cabinet shop. And actually, it was a cabinet shop that I used to do finishing for. Shout out to Ultimate. Great guys. So are you buying doors from them and maybe doing some finishing for them, or what's going on there?
So to kind of backtrack a little bit, the one thing that we've been struggling with is growth. We've kind of hit where we can hit with this business, and we want to hire and pull ourselves off the tools, but we need a stream of money coming in from somewhere else. And I've been talking with Micah McLean about this a lot, and he was like, look, he goes, we're not like some of these others out there where they had $1 million sitting in a savings account to where they could take a hit and not take an income for a year while they hired. Because you can't do that. So get another stream of revenue coming in that is easy to get going, and then you can live off that money while you're using the finishing money to get the employees hired. So we've been looking at different options for a while. One of my mentors from SCORE, he was like, Kimberly, he goes, you are really destined to become a GC. You need to start general contracting. He was like, you need to start project managing. He goes, you're so good at it. You need to do it. So we started looking at things. We've been dabbling with it a little bit with the countertops and the backsplash and the flooring. We've done a few projects with these guys where we've gone in and done whole remodels of the kitchen, and it's been amazing. Clients love it. And so I was like, well, why don't we look at cabinet finishing? And so we had talked to the guy from Ultimate Cabinets a couple of years ago at the Centurion party in Vegas at AWFS. And at the time, they were looking at a flatline spray system. And so Centurion had told us, hey, they're going to start using our products. And I was like, oh, well, I can sell Centurion. So finally got up there to talk to them and meet them. And so they have their flatline system. They have an amazing shop set up.
Is it not incredible?
Oh, gosh, I was so jealous of all the tools and toys that they had in there.
Yeah, and that's the second building they moved into. They used to be out north of town, but that where they're at now, right in the north side of town, it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. 20 employees, I believe is what he said, and lots of women in there too, which was neat. But one-piece HDF doors, they've got the flatline system, so I can get the doors raw, I can get them pre-primed, or I can get them finished in a single component, 1111 and 400. And so I was like, okay, we can sell the pre-finished cabinets. We just need somebody to install them. So that's what we're looking for right now. And then we're looking at either pre-primed one-piece doors or fully finished one-piece doors, and offering those to clients. And then if they want to upgrade to a 2-component coating, then they can have us spray it. And so we can at least get that done to where we're just having to come in and project manage. And it would take a little bit of load off of us on that end, because Jeremy and I can only do so much on the finishing side. But if we have this other stream coming in to where we're just having to go in and manage it, then we'll see about some subs with that, go that route. And so we've got clients that need new cabinets, and the build on these cabinets was really, really up there. I loved what they were doing with their cabinets.
I always liked working with them over there. They were always great. Their shop was always amazing. Always had a good time. I mean, and what was great about working with them, if something was off, or, because we just did a lot of flat packs for them when I had my finishing company. But, it'd be like they'd deliver something and I'd call him up and I'd be like, there's only 2 pieces of scribe here. I don't want to have to redo scribe after you start the install. He's like, wait a minute. Come back 5 minutes later. Son of a bitch, they left a whole sitting here. I'll put it in my truck and I'll be there in like 20 minutes. And he'd toss it in his truck and he'd come over to the shop and drop it off. So they're very customer focused, which I like that.
Yeah, I liked that about them. But we were looking at it and we were like, we can sell this. And so we want to start selling new cabinetry. We're trying to get that set up. I've got a goal for us to start getting things going by the end of the year. Jeremy hates it when I do goals, but I feel like if I don't have a timeline set up, then we'll never get it ready.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. You gotta have the goals. I'm the same way though. I would always not do goals. And then my wife's like you, she's like, we got to have goals. And she's right. But I mean, it does make a difference. It really does.
Yeah. I feel like if I don't set a goal for anything, then a year from now, I'm like, I really wanted to do that, but just, gosh darn it, haven't done. It's kind of like the whole Google class thing I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do this for like a year and a half now, and I never set up a goal. So I'm just like, oh, I'm bored. Maybe I should go in there and try and do some more of that. And then, of course, it killed me. It killed me because my youngest was like, oh, we did that in school. And I'm like, really? Why am I doing this then?
The growing is the tough one. I mean, I would say from the people that I've coached to this point, the hardest thing to do is to get out from working in the business to working on the business. It is one of the single-handed hardest transition that business owners have to do. And it's one of the most important. If you want the business always generating income so you can go to the shows, you can take vacations, it has to happen. I mean, my father-in-law was probably one of the best at it, I would say. And his philosophy was always, got to have a goal. You got to start with the top line revenue goal of what you want to make. And that forces you kind of into that. Here's what I want to be making in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. And he turned everything in our world of the paint service world into, I'm trying to think how to word it. It's just hours. That's what he turned it. It's like you're selling hours, and his rule was you have 2,000 hours per employee a year, roughly. Because if you don't offer paid vacation, they're going to be sick for at least 40 hours a week. So if you average 2,000 hours, that was the number that he taught me. This guy's worth 2,000 hours. That's what you've got. What's your rate? That's how much money this guy is going to make. Legally, you can't make him work more than 40 hours a week. So if you work it on this guy is worth 2,000 hours at whatever your hourly rate is, and so is this guy, and so is this guy, and so is this guy. So if you use that formula, 2,000 hours, and let's say it's, $50 an hour. So I'm from Oklahoma. Can't do math in my head.
49th in education.
See, there's a reason. So, $50 an hour times 2,000 hours, every employee should generate $100,000 of income, of revenue, not income, but of revenue. And you've got labor and all of that, but you can kind of use that to start judging if the guy's working and putting in the hours. So it's like, all right, I'm going to hire a part-time guy, or I'm going to hire a helper. And that's what he'd say. Hire a helper. He works with you. And then after a couple months, you let him do part of the work by himself. And then he does a whole job by himself. And then you tell him to hire a helper. It doesn't matter if it's you doing the work, Kimberly, if it's Jeremy. If your rate's $50 an hour, your rate's $50 an hour. It doesn't matter. But into that 50, whatever your hourly rate is what it costs you to operate. That's what pays your employee. That's what pays your taxes. Part of that's paying for, whether it's what I call indirect cost of rollers, paper, tape, car, vehicle, fuel. You're paying for that. And your salary is built into that too. You build that all into that hourly rate. And then you just start slowly adding a guy here. And then he adds another guy. And then you take one of those helpers and he goes into a crew leader and he make your helper the crew leader responsible for hiring their helper, because they're going to make sure they stay. Because if their helper doesn't stay, then they're the ones doing all the work. Because it's your guy. And I mean, we did that and we got up to like 12 guys, and that was way too many.
thing I keep hearing the most is, and it's true, is it's your baby, it's your business, and nobody is going to work as hard as you are on it. And so Micah one day told me, he goes, you're putting out about 110% for your business. He goes, employee you hire is going to put in 70%. So you need 2 employees to replace you.
Yeah, I mean, you can. The one thing that I'll say that I think the book Who Not How helps translate that is setting the expectations, because I think that's where most business owners say that's not how I would do it. Most guys don't do the, and then in that book they teach you, and they go into this whole fact of, and I've implemented this with some of my marketing and my video editing for the podcast, is here's what I want to happen, A through Z, and it may be A through M. This is my expectations if I pay you to do this. If you don't meet these expectations, I need you to sign here that you understand what my expectations are. I have some people that clean my RVs and do deliveries. Here's my expectations. Every single vehicle, I'm going to give you a checklist of what I expect to happen. I'm going to check these 12 things when I come to look at this RV. You sign the expectations, and you sign this agreement saying, if you don't do the expectation, if you don't do what I ask you to do, you're not going to get paid.
You're giving them standard operating procedures.
I'm telling you what my expectation is. I'm telling you what I want to see. It's not like I'm saying, go clean that, and I'm like, you didn't do it right. No, I'm telling you everything I want. Here it is. You do that, and then you just got to let it go. That's the hardest part, but you just got to let them do it.
And that's my problem. I'm too much of a control freak. I'm like, I want it done this way. Do it this way. And so we learned from our mistakes.
Always.
I've been working on standard operating procedures. I keep tweaking them, rewording things. Jeremy will look at it, and he's like, well, maybe we should change this word to this one, to basically kind of drill it down as much as possible to where some 14-year-old kid could go read it and figure out how to do it and get in there and bust it out and can clean and sand a door like nothing. And so I've got all that out. We've been doing standard operating procedures on spraying, cleaning the shop. I mean, every minute thing in the business is standard operating procedures. So we have everything written down to where when it's time to hire again, we can. This year has done a lot better than last year. We're going to, with Jeremy and me just working, we're bringing in more this year than what we did last year.
That's awesome. Congrats.
So that's good. An improvement. We pulled in a lot of debt last year, trying to keep everything floating. We've been paying that off and just getting things ready for expansion. I told Jeremy, I was like, I want to take this year to kind of simmer, regroup, replan, make sure we've got our ducks in a row. And I want 2026 for us to kick off and just hit the ground running. And I want us to go. I don't want to continue this route. I want us off the tools. I want us focusing on managing the business and running the business, not in there working on the tools.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
I mean, I know you guys can do it. I know you can.
Yeah. It's just, it's uncharted territory for us. I mean, it's one thing to start a business. It's another completely different thing to hire people and manage those people and keep all of that stuff going. And, got the marketing on par again. Micah's been helping me with that. And I mean, I'm doing better now on social media and online presence than what I was 2 years ago. So that's been an amazing leap right there. Getting things just put together, ideas put in place, looking at these ways to expand and grow, and using my mentors to do that and have them help me. So like I was telling Emily all of our plans, was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. I was telling her about it. And she was like, what do you need from me? I was like, well, I need resources. I need to know what the marketing's looking like or the market's looking like for painters for the next 2 years. And so she's going back to OU to get me all this information. So that way I can see what we're looking at. Cause I like the data. I like reading through the data and learning and seeing what things are going to look like.
I mean, it is a fun ride when you make that transition from, out of the business and working on the business to where, you're not doing the daily grind. Once you get all those SOPs lined out and, beyond the SOPs, I think I still might have it, was a list it was laminated and it said
I got
interior
my
painting.
laminating machine.
It says interior painting. Like I had one for interior painting, one for cabinet painting, one for exterior painting, and they were laminated front, back, side, and it was just every step, and they were laminated in every single vehicle. So
Ours
it's
are
like
out there in the shop, but
you just take it. If every vehicle had a copy, and the crews that were out on doing jobs, everyone starts the same job. Like we don't do any of this mess of they have your way. Everyone does it this way. That way, if you're gone or you're sick and I got to send this crew over to your job, they can look at that list, tell exactly where you're at on the job, and they can finish it. And then you put that up for the customer. Like my guys they'd get a copy of the estimate of what we were doing that didn't have pricing on it. And I would put the number of hours that I figured for the total job. And I just tell my guys, I don't care what pace you work at. I got this job figured at 100 hours. There's 2 of you. Figure it the flip out. I need it done in under 100 hours. If you want to go balls to the wall and slack off at the end, or you want to steady it out, or you want to do a little bit and then get a lot done, I don't care. This is the order of operations, and this is what needs to be done. And they would tape it to the fridge or the wall or wherever, and then they would check it off as they went. And inadvertently, the customers just thought that was the coolest thing in the world because they could come home, look at the list, and see what the guys did for the day.
Well, and me, I'm one where once it's in my head, it's in my head. I don't need to look at a checklist. Jeremy likes that checklist there. And I know why he likes it there. He likes the customers to see it too. And so
it's huge.
We have the SOP sitting right there on the countertop, going through it. And Jeremy's looking through and he'll check off everything we've done that day. And one time we walked in and customers looking at it and they were like, "You use standard operating procedures?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "But you're the business owner." Yeah, we still have to make sure that that's going to be applicable to our employees. We have to make sure that it's something that reasonable for an employee to do. So I was like, this is like version 10.1 or something like that.
I mean, up until the day I sold my painting company, I was making revisions. Like, it became a deal where it was like, especially on the SOPs for like sanding and spraying, it was like monthly revisions. The guys would bring them back with little notes on them at the end of the week. Here's our notes that we should add or change, and then look at them and try to compile them all and put them back in and reprint them and put them back on the wall. I mean, it's, who was it? Somebody told me SOPs are living documents. They should never be to the point where they can't be modified or where there's nothing to change. There's always something to change.
That's why I bought my own laminating machine. So that way I can laminate it whenever it's time to change it. And somebody even told me, they were like, "You need an SOP for subcontractors." And I'm like, "I can have an SOP for subcontractors?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "I thought I couldn't tell them what to do." And they were like, "You can't tell them what to do, but you can have a layout of how you like things."
You can set the standard, is what I say. You give them the standard.
And so right now I'm researching to get an SOP set up for subcontractors. So that way we can start hiring subcontractors on stuff.
I was watching a video the other day of a lady, her and her husband have a contracting company, and they were talking about just, I mean, some might say over the top they are, and they admit they're over the top. Like they would be like, if we walk to a job site, they get our list or rules of the job site. All of our subs do. How we pay, what the rules are, what they can do, what they can't do. And they have to sign, and we keep them on file for every contractor, for every sub. And if I walk into a job site and there's only one crew working in there and I see trash and they're gone, they don't come back to the job site. She's like, "There's an empty roll of tape that they didn't pick up, that contractor's not coming back. That painting contractor's not coming back to my job site because they broke the rules. And I don't want the standard to be that you can break the rules. And I'm like, yee.
Our mentor, because I've talked to her about the SOPs and our process and everything else and how clients appreciate how we keep things clean, and the countertop company we work with and the tile guy we work with. That was my number one thing. I'm like, if you work for my clients, you keep things clean. Do not leave a mess. Do not leave them a bucket of trash. Do not leave them a bucket of water. Do not throw your trash in their yard. Don't do that. That's the one big thing that I ask. And they've always been that way. And last time when we were talking with Emily, she goes, my tile guys left 2 buckets full of trash just sitting there in front of my house. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of common. She goes, I asked them if they were going to pick it up, and they said no.
At least they were honest.
And she was like, why aren't they picking up their trash? And I'm like, not everybody does like we do. And she goes, this is why I need you up there. Because she's getting all these rentals put together in Kansas. And she's like, I want you to come to Kansas and paint all the cabinets. And she goes, I know you're going to do it right.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting world. I mean, that's why I say, and my father-in-law, I say the same thing, like being successful in our business. And I'm going to say specifically to the painting, general contracting across the board, but even more specifically painting, like it is not difficult to be beyond successful in this business. If you follow some few simple rules, return phone calls, do what you say you're going to do, and don't be a slob. And it's like, sort of like 3 things that if you do in this business, more than likely you're going to have more business than you can shake a stick at, because it's just so all over the place.
Our clients, I mean, the number one thing that they absolutely love about, they were like, we can trust you. And they were like, you keep everything clean. My house is cleaner when you're done than what it was before. And
Boy Scout, Girl Scout motto.
I mean, our last client, she had to go out of town for business. And she's like, I'm sorry, I tried getting out of this. They need me to go. Are you going to be able to continue work? Yeah. If you have no problem with it, we have no problem with it. Got there in the mornings, worked. Her little dog was there. Her friend was supposed to be coming by a couple of times a day to let her dog out. And we're like, go outside with the dog, let her play around a little bit, let her go to the bathroom, come back in, make sure she had water and everything. And she was like, I can't believe you did all that. I'm like, I'm not going to let the dog sit there and be suffering the entire time.
I mean, that's the service. That's the extra little bit of sauce in the service-based industry that will keep you busy, that will keep those referrals coming in, that will minimize your spend in the marketing world, in my opinion. Little things like that make a huge difference when, you know, she's talking to one of her ladies at church, and I got to get my cat. Oh, you need to call Jeremy and Kim. They just did my house. I left. They took my dog out. You know, list everything extra beyond painting the cabinets.
Actually, one of our clients, it was a couple of years ago. She had a little miniature Pomeranian, just a little ball of joy. I love that dog.
Yappy dogs.
Oh, she's the sweetest little thing. Jeremy loved her to death. And she was at work, so we let her out. And I'm scared to death of that dog being outside and like a hawk swooping down and getting her. So we're standing out there guarding her with our lives and making sure she was good. And she'd be waiting for us in the laundry room every morning, just like, hey, and want us to play with her and pet her. And then she'd go lay down and get with us a couple times a day to go outside. And so that was then a couple of years, I want to say 3 years ago. And earlier this year, we get a call from a lady, and she was like, well, you were a referral. And so we went to the consultation. She's talking to me. She goes, you know, I was at a community meeting, or what am I looking for? City of Yukon. She was at a meeting, and our client Jerry was there just randomly. And our client we just booked, she goes, I've been thinking about painting my cabinets. And Jerry's like, oh, let me show you this. And she's sitting there flipping through the pictures, and she's like, they took care of my dog every day. they made sure she didn't get eaten by a hawk, and look at what they did to my cabinets, and it's amazing, not a chip anywhere. And she was like, she told me I had to book you. And so we're doing her kitchen in 2 weeks.
This is the best marketing that you can get.
Yeah, she was like,
And it
I
was
had
free.
to book you. Yeah.
I tell people all the time how important that is. Like you can't pay for that. I mean, that referral is priceless.
It takes a few years to get a referral system set up, though. That is one thing I've learned, because everybody's like, oh, you need referrals. It takes time to get that set up. So
it does.
Anybody out there listening, if you're new, don't sweat it if you're not getting a ton of referrals at first, because it takes time to build it up.
It takes time to build it up, but I also tell people, like, and this is what a lot of business owners are afraid to do. And I'll admit, I was too. You got to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? No. Okay. Like, same thing with the reviews. Like, I mean, with my RV business, like, I've got a setup. Ask them right there. Hey, could you help me out? Leave me a review. Let me know if I could have done anything better. This is how it helps us. But it's 90% of people, they're, oh yeah, I'll leave you a review. Yeah, sure. Send me the link. Send them the link. Make it easy as possible for them. But you can't just assume they're going to do it. You got to ask them for it. And if you ask them for it, that you'll get 90, probably 99% return.
So one thing we've talked to Mike Danahay about is we call it Jedi mind tricks, or he started the term Jedi mind tricks. And you have to plant it into, so, we're a small business, and 5-star reviews are what make or break a small business. And so if you could leave a 5-star review telling them how amazing we were, mention anything that just stands out to you, like how we kept everything clean, or how you felt about this, and make sure you mention what town you're in, which they're not always the greatest on doing that. But
that's a good one. I like that.
When I respond back, I'm like, thank you for letting us in your home in Yukon, Oklahoma, because Google sees that and then it pops it to them. Little tidbit there.
I like that.
But I'm always like, you want these things, and so we always talk to them about the things that we want to. And even at the end of the day, Jeremy's like, do you have any questions, concerns, or complaints? Every day, do you have any questions, concerns, or complaints? And always asking them that. And they're always like, well, we don't have any complaints. Why would we have any complaints? We always want to ask, because you never know. You might have one and you just don't want to tell us. So
yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Us. So we always try and be upfront and open with them, but we always try to encourage them, and we'll say things to encourage them to try and get that communication, because we don't know if we're doing something wrong that they may not like. And we've never had it happen, but one day it might. I mean,
it everyone in the world of reviews and just, I don't know. Everyone's afraid to ask for stuff. I was talking to a guy the other day, watching a video, and then I talked about it on one of the episodes of the podcast. And it was, who was I talking to? It might have been Brian with Pretty Boy, but he was like, what if I told you, what if I could guarantee you that if you can get through 5,000 no's, I guarantee you on that 5,001 is going to be a yes. What are you going to do? You're going to go out there and
5,000 real quickly.
get him out of the way as fast as you can. He goes, that yes is out there. You just got to get through the no's. Don't be afraid of the no's. Don't be scared of the no's. It's okay. It's just a no. But the faster you get through the no's, the faster the yeses come. And once that first yes comes, they just keep coming.
Well, for us, when we first started, we weren't even really asking for Google reviews. I was trying to get video testimonials.
Those are still good, yeah.
They're good. I still try and get them every once in a while, but what I do is I use those against the homeowners. I'm like, so when we're at the consultation, I go through a process, and at the end, I'm like, we have you sign off, you pay final payment, and then I'm going to ask you for a Google review. 5-star Google review is what we hope for from every customer. But if you don't want to leave a Google review, we can definitely do a video testimonial. Yeah, we can do a video testimonial.
That's
Then
genius.
towards the end of it, I'm like, well, we really do appreciate that 5-star review. If you could leave that for us, or I can do a video testimonial right now. Send me that link. I will get that. I will get that Google review for you. And
Oh my God, I love that. That's
they don't
good.
want to
That's
be
good.
on camera.
Nope. You're right. I mean, those people don't. I mean, when I was at CIC trying to get video testimonies, whether you're at a show or any of that stuff, is so hard because no one wants to do it.
Speaking of that, we're gonna be at the booth for CIC at AWFS.
You guys at AWFS? That's awesome. Congrats. That'll be a good one.
We were asked to bring our gimbals.
I haven't decided if I'm going to go yet or not. I might.
Oh, it looks too much fun. I need a break that doesn't involve RC cars.
Vegas is it's just not my world. I don't know what it is. Vegas never has ever enticed me that much, but I'm trying to remember when it is this year.
We're going to get out there on the 20th of July. It's that week. I think it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that week.
I think we're driving. I need to go look and see. Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think we're supposed to go to, my in-laws go to Page, Arizona every other year, and they have a houseboat. And our kids have never been, and our in-laws are talking about getting rid of the houseboat.
Well, there's not many bodies of water in Arizona, so.
Yeah, it's up on Lake Powell. They go but they're just like, I mean, we're 2 weeks they have this houseboat, and my father-in-law's 72. My mother-in-law's like 60, I'm going to say 65, just to be safe.
59. 59.
Well, we know she's 60. Yeah, that was a while ago. I just don't remember that much.
My oldest was buttering me up on my birthday. He was like, how old are you, 39? Yeah, yes, I am, sweetie. Yes, I am. Thank you.
What do you want?
I love you. Here's a 20.
Maybe that's why, but they want our grandkids. They want the kids to come, but that makes a lot of sense. We were at Costco today, and my wife's been traveling a lot, so she's got that mom guilt. So the kids are definitely using it.
Oh yeah,
8 and 4, and they're using it. But they were just like, my son's like, you know what, Dad? It's like you're a grandpa and you have 3 kids because mom's so young. And I'm just like, mom's older than me, right?
You should hear the crap the boys talk to Jeremy. It's hilarious.
I'm like, I understand it's white, but come on now.
The boys, they tried, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're old. And I'm like, I'm not, but whatever. But then they'll go buttering me up and they're like, Mom, you're so young and pretty looking. I'm like, you sucking up. What do you want?
What do you want?
Speaking of Costco, I've learned it's probably best not to take them with me because the bill's usually half if I don't take them with me.
That's like my wife. She knows that I'm better off grocery shopping than anyone in the house. Because, I mean, if it's not on that list, I ain't buying it. We have the Amazon Alexa. We put it on the Alexa list. If it's not on the Alexa list, it's not going in the cart. I was like, that looks good. Oh, we should get some of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last time when I took Ethan with me, and Ethan likes to cook. So we're going up and down the aisles, and he sees all the cookware and everything else. And he was like, Mom, I want to get you new dishes for Mother's Day. We need new dishes. And I'm like, no, we don't really need to. Mom, these are gorgeous. You need new dishes. He was doing that mainly because he had broke one of my bowls, but he was like, I want to get you dishes for Mother's Day. And then he was like, and our knife set's not very good. I could use new knives. And so he's over there looking at these nice knife sets. He's like, I ended up walking out with a knife set. I'm like,
and it worked.
Yeah. He was like, look at the pots and pans, Mom. He loves to cook. And I'm like, I'm not buying a new pot and pan set. Mom, look at those. They would cook amazingly. I
started telling my son, he's 8. His birthday's he turns 8 in like 30 days, July 20th. So I've been telling him all the time, and I'm like, he'll be like, oh, Dad, we need this. I'm like, I'll put that on your birthday list. No. I don't think that, like, he wants these new shirts. I'm like, put those shirts on your birthday list. Nah, I don't want them that bad.
It's me during Christmas. You need new underwear? You better make those last until Christmas, because new socks, Christmas.
Isn't it crazy? You get older, and I'm like, man, I'd kill for a new some new good socks for Christmas. I'm like, yeah.
Jeremy and the boys know every year I'm getting them socks and underwear. They're always getting socks and underwear for Christmas, so they're completely happy with that.
Yeah, you got to have them. Yeah. Well, I don't keep you too much longer. I know we've been on here. So I started a new question since you've been on last. And you know what I just realized is we've done a little more than an hour recording. And if you people don't know who Kimberly is with Red Tulip, you're living under a flipping rock. And she's already been on the show once. So I don't want any comments about who are you talking to.
What? Who's that weird girl with all those hats behind her?
I was wondering what those were. I was like, I couldn't figure it out.
Those are hats I have collected from other businesses and other companies over the years. They give me a hat, and so I'm like, oh, I like it. And so bought a hat hanger kit. And
goes on the wall.
Hanging on the wall.
Nice. So I started this new question. I don't know if you've caught it or not, but so, and it's interesting. I've been liking the answers that I get. And so it's, Kimberly, today you're going out to lunch. You run into 19-year-old Kimberly. What's the top piece of advice you're going to give her?
Don't go to college. Or if you do, go to a different college.
I mean, I get it. Yeah. It was so beat into us.
Yeah. Oh gosh. It's all I was ever told. Go to college, go to college, go to college. My kids now, I'm like, if you want to go to college, fine. If you don't, go to trade school, something, anything. Just find what you want to do as your passion and go forward with it. And I think what I would tell myself as a younger person is I should have gotten into more money management classes and training. And you think about it.
That's good. Yes.
You come from a not so wealthy family. You come from people that they didn't manage their money well, dirt poor, all that stuff. And it's hard to break that cycle. Jeremy and I are now breaking that cycle, which is amazing. And we're hoping that our kids are learning from us to where they can do better than us. But I wish back then that I had paid attention to finances better, and I should have gone to classes on finances and to learn how to do these things to where we didn't have to suffer all those years. I could have been investing in real estate, or I could have been buying laundromats or vending machines.
It's a good point.
Whatnot.
Yeah. Same thing.
I could have done so many different things had I chose to do something different with my money than what we did. And learning that lesson now, nobody taught us about credit cards. Nobody taught us about investing or saving or any of that stuff. And that's the thing we've been pushing on our kids so much is save your money, invest in it. Both of our kids, as soon as they start working, I'm like, you're going to get with our money manager. She's going to set up stocks and all kinds of stuff for you. And she's going to take money out of your paycheck or out of your bank account every week and put it into these investments for you to where down the road you've got money. Because I wish somebody had told me to do that back then. And
yeah, I would agree with that. I would have
told myself to be a little bit smarter about life choices and honestly, yeah, probably not go to college or go to a different college than what I went to, unfortunately. But
I get that. Yeah. But the one about money management and budgeting, I wholeheartedly, I wasn't always great at that, and my wife will admit the same thing. And now we budget and, do that zero baseline budget every week. You got this much money, and when you spend it, it's gone, and you still got money going everywhere. Every penny's going somewhere. Whether it's investments.
Credit utilization. Nobody told us about, they're like, oh, just go get credit cards. They didn't tell you to, make sure you have this set up for these credit cards and pay off these, and this will do that. And,
how important it is to have your, what you're not necessarily net worth, but your credit utilization rate, what it is. But yeah, it's a good point. They really didn't. They didn't teach it in school. They didn't even really teach it in college unless you went and got a finance degree. But even in the finance degree, it wasn't even so much about budgeting your personal finances. That's a good point. No one teaches good personal finance.
They still don't even teach it these days. My youngest the other day, he was like, well, if I get a job, you're going to have to show me how to do taxes. And I'm like, nobody in school's teaching you taxes? And he goes, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'll show you taxes. Which, mind you, my teacher showed me how to do taxes when I was in high school. But
well, like we were in school, we had home ec, and you did some of that stuff in home ec, balancing a checkbook.
They don't even have home ec anymore.
Yeah, and they've gotten rid of all that. Like I remember in home ec, you learned how to balance a checkbook, but that was as deep as it went. It didn't go any deeper than that. I think it should have gone a lot more in depth. But now, I mean, does your kids even know what a checkbook is? I know mine don't.
My husband Jeremy tried bringing up to Aiden. He was like, why aren't you writing down your transactions? Aiden's like, I just go onto the app and I can see them. And Jeremy's like, well, you should be balancing a checkbook. And I'm like, Jeremy, we don't even balance a checkbook. What the heck are you talking about? Shut up.
I mean, they do have everything that'll do it for you today. I mean, you can
like
import your transactions
shows you right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, I think you still should learn how to do it.
Yeah. And so we're working with them on that. We're like, look, we want you to go out there better prepared than what we were. And I hope they do. I hope they do. They're smart kids, but yeah, there's so many life choices I could have made differently. And honestly, one of them was going into business for myself. I was always told that it was stupid to do this and work for somebody else and you'll get to retire from them. And then I quickly
get that
learned
pension.
that there's no such thing as a pension anymore. There's no such thing as retirement. They're going to use you up and then they're going to spit you out. And like I saw somebody comment the other day, they were like, if you die, they're going to have you replaced in 24 hours. They do not care.
That's why we have that plan, 5 businesses in the next 5 years. And that's the goal. So we don't have to rely on anybody for income. And it's like, retirement's good. We put some money away for retirement, but my goal is I just want residual income, passive income. Someone else can run the business and I take a little bit of it and okay. At some point, give the operators a little piece of the pie and they'll treat it like it's theirs and you get residual income for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter if you're 55 or 85.
And just those simple comforts, not knowing that, yeah, there's still money coming in each month from the business and I can go to Mexico for a week if I want to, or Europe, or that's
one
the
of
goal.
these days we'll get there. I like it.
This year's passports. And then I told Jeremy, we're heading to Europe. I'm going to Europe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this was an awesome catch up. I'm glad we got to do this. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Reset year. I mean, wish you guys all the best. I'm thinking here maybe we plan on maybe doing something and do like if I don't come to AWFS, we need to do like a highlight podcast of what you thought were the top things at the show. Maybe we get you on and talk about the show and what you thought and how things went.
Honestly, for AWFS for us, yeah, we like looking at all the fun things. We usually buy something out there every year, but it's the networking, just getting out there and meeting all these people you talk to online and networking with them. And I mean, if we hadn't done that 2 years ago, we wouldn't be talking to Ultimate Cabinets right now. I mean, it's just these little things that you don't think about, and being able to talk to these people in person and relax and just get out there. It's that to us, that's more important than buying tools.
Yeah, I mean the relationships and the types of relationships you make at these shows are amazing, and they can change everything. Yeah, we'll enjoy the show for sure. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm ready for a week off, and
not to mention it's in Vegas, so
it's my vacation for this year. It's what I'm getting, so I'm like,
that's good.
I'll
that
take
works.
It.
Hey, take the vacations you can get. Well, again, if you guys aren't following Kimberly, make sure you go follow her. I mean, she puts out some awesome content and some really good stuff with as far as the score and what was the other one? REI?
Score, REI. Well, REI is Oklahoma. You got Small Business Development Center, Small Business Administration. You've got SCORE. And then look up in your areas for any small business assistance programs. I mean, there's so many different things out there, and unfortunately, a lot of them are losing funding right now, and we need to help them as much as we can. So even if it's just volunteering your time.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't have the money, volunteer time, help people out so we can all just move forward. That's a big thing. Again, thanks, Kimberly. Awesome having you on.
You.
Make sure you guys are following me. We'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the Bearded Finisher Podcast. We thank everyone for joining. Keep hustling, keep learning, and never settle for anything less than your best. Remember, the path to perfection is a journey, not a destination. Until next time.